I 32M helped my girlfriend 29F transform her life and confidence. She just dumped me saying she deserves someone better right after I proposed. I am sorry, but now I deserve someone better than you. Those were the exact words my girlfriend Melissa said to me 6 hours ago when I got down on one knee with the ring I had been saving for 8 months to buy. I am still sitting in my car outside a McDonald's, trying to process what just happened to my life. We have been together for 3 years. 3 years of what I thought was genuine love, support, and building a future together. Apparently, I was just a stepping stone. Let me explain how we got here because I need to understand where I went wrong. I met Melissa at a volunteer event downtown. She was handing out sandwiches to homeless people, and I was struck by how genuinely kind she was to everyone. She spent time talking with each person, asking about their stories, treating them like human beings instead of charity cases. She was beautiful to me from the start. Not in the conventional sense that society expects, but beautiful in the way that matters. She had this warmth, this genuine empathy that made her shine. When she smiled at those people who society had forgotten, my heart melted. I asked her out that day, and she seemed surprised. Really? She asked. Like no one had shown interest in her before. That broke my heart a little. Our first year together was amazing. Melissa was funny, caring, incredibly smart. She worked as a social worker and genuinely cared about helping people. We would spend weekends volunteering together, trying new restaurants, talking for hours about everything and nothing. But I noticed she was insecure about her appearance. She would make self-deprecating comments about her weight, avoid photos, wear baggy clothes to hide her body. It hurt to see someone so beautiful feel so badly about herself. I just wish I felt confident in my own skin. She told me one night after declining to go to the beach with friends. What would help you feel more confident? I asked. She admitted she had always wanted to get healthier but felt overwhelmed about where to start. So I offered to help, not because I thought she needed to change, but because I wanted her to feel as beautiful as I saw her. We started slow. I helped her find a gym she felt comfortable in. We began cooking healthy meals together. She actually loved learning new recipes. I encouraged her when she felt discouraged, celebrated small victories with her, and made sure she knew I loved her exactly as she was throughout the process. It took almost 2 years, but the transformation was incredible. Not just physically, though she did become more conventionally attractive. More importantly, she gained confidence. She started wearing clothes she loved, taking photos, speaking up more in social situations. I was so proud of her, and proud of us for doing it together. But somewhere along the way, something else changed. The woman who used to spend Saturdays helping at soup kitchens started spending them at expensive spas. The woman who cried watching documentaries about social injustice started caring more about whether her outfit matched her new designer handbag. You have changed, I told her 6 months ago when she complained about the restaurant I had chosen for date night because it wasn't Instagram-worthy. I have improved, she corrected me. I know my worth now. Her worth apparently included expecting more expensive gifts, fancier dates, and constant validation about her appearance. The woman who used to be content with movie nights and home-cooked dinners suddenly needed 5-star experiences to feel appreciated. But I loved her, so I tried to keep up. I worked overtime to afford the lifestyle she wanted. I took her to expensive restaurants, bought her the clothes she admired, planned elaborate weekend trips. Last month, I finally saved enough for the ring I knew she wanted, a 2-carat diamond from Tiffany's. Not because I thought she needed something that expensive, but because she had mentioned it was her dream ring. I planned the perfect proposal. Sunset on the beach, where we had our first real conversation about our future. String quartet playing her favorite song. Rose petals and candles. The whole romantic fantasy. I got down on one knee, opened the ring box, and said the speech I had been practicing for weeks about how she was my best friend, my partner, the person I wanted to grow old with. She looked at the ring, looked at me, and I saw something in her eyes I had never seen before. Not joy, not love, not even surprise, disappointment. Ethan, she said quietly, I need to be honest with you. My heart started racing, but not in a good way. These past few months, I have been doing some thinking about what I want from life, about what I deserve. Okay, I said, still on one knee like an idiot. I have changed a lot since we met. I am not the same person I was 3 years ago. I am better now. More confident, more attractive, more aware of my value. I didn't like where this was going, and I have realized that maybe we are not as compatible as I thought we were. What do you mean? I asked. Though I was starting to understand. I have outgrown this relationship. I am sorry, but now I deserve someone better than you. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. Someone better than me. Someone who matches my new lifestyle. Someone who can really provide for me, take me places, introduce me to the right people. You are sweet, Ethan, but you are? I need extraordinary. I stood up slowly, ring box still in my hand. Melissa, I am the same person who helped you become who you are now. The same person who loved you when you didn't love yourself. And I am grateful for that, she said, not sounding grateful at all. You were exactly what I needed when I was that person. But I am not that person anymore. So the 3 years we have been together, all our plans, our future, none of that matters because you think you can do better. It is not about thinking I can do better. It is about knowing I deserve better. I looked at this woman I had loved, supported, celebrated, and helped become the person she always wanted to be. The woman I had planned to spend my life with, and I realized I was looking at a stranger. You are right, I said finally. You have changed. The woman I fell in love with would never have said something so cruel to someone who loved her. That is exactly my point, she said. I am not settling for good enough anymore. I put the ring box in my pocket and walked away. She didn't try to stop me. I have been driving around for 6 hours trying to make sense of this. My phone has been buzzing with texts from her, but I haven't read them. Reddit, what the hell just happened? How do you help someone become their best self only to have them decide that person is too good for you? Update 1. It has been a week since Melissa told me she deserves better and rejected my proposal. I have been staying with my friend Jake, trying to process the end of what I thought was the love of my life. Yesterday, I found out who she left me for, and the situation is even more pathetic than I imagined. I was picking up some clothes from our apartment. She is staying there until the lease ends next month. When our neighbor Mrs. Chen stopped me in the hallway. Ethan, I am so sorry to hear about you and Melissa, she said. I hope you know this has nothing to do with you. I was confused. What do you mean? Well, I have seen her with that new man. Very flashy, expensive car. Always dressed like he is going to business meetings. But I have lived in this building for 30 years. Honey, I can spot a player from a mile away. My stomach dropped. How long have you been seeing them together? Oh, about 2 months now. Always sneaking around. Never during normal dating hours. He comes by late at night, leaves early in the morning, never stays for breakfast. If you know what I mean. 2 months of late nights and distant behavior finally made sense. She had been building an exit strategy while I was planning our future. Mrs. Chen patted my arm. That girl doesn't know what she had with you, but mark my words. Men like that don't stick around once they get what they want. When I got back to Jake's place, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I looked at Melissa's social media. Her Instagram, which used to be filled with pictures of us and her volunteer work, had been completely transformed. Suddenly, it was all designer clothes, expensive restaurants, and selfies with captions like "Living my best life" and "Know your worth." Queens, and there he was in several photos, Tyler Morrison. I recognized the name from Melissa's work. He is some finance executive who has been donating to her nonprofit, married, though apparently that is not stopping either of them. The comments on her photos were telling, "Girl, you are glowing. New man treating you right. Finally someone who matches your energy. This is what happens when you know your worth." But my favorite was from her own sister. "Hope this one treats you better than the last guy who literally helped you become this person. At least someone in her family has sense." That evening, Jake convinced me to go out for drinks. We ended up at this upscale bar downtown, the kind of place Melissa had been wanting me to take her to more often. And guess who was there? Melissa and Tyler, sitting in a corner booth, all over each other. She was wearing a dress I had never seen before, probably cost more than my monthly car payment. He was everything I am not. Older, clearly wealthy, confident in that aggressive way that screams I take what I want. I watched them for a few minutes before Jake noticed where I was looking. Dude, let's go. This isn't healthy. No, wait, I said. I want to see something. What I saw was Tyler checking his phone constantly, barely listening when Melissa talked, and openly checking out other women when she wasn't looking. When she went to the bathroom, he immediately started chatting with the bartender, a pretty blonde who was clearly flattered by his attention. Melissa came back and caught the end of their conversation. I saw her face fall for just a second before she plastered on a bright smile and grabbed Tyler's arm possessively. You ready to go back to your place? She asked loudly enough for the bartender to hear. Actually, I have got an early meeting tomorrow, Tyler said, already reaching for his wallet. Rain check? The look on Melissa's face was heartbreaking. Not because I felt bad for her, but because I recognized it. It was the same insecurity she used to have, the same fear of rejection she had worked so hard to overcome. Except now she was directing it at someone who clearly didn't give a shit about her feelings. They left separately. Him first, then her 5 minutes later. The whole thing was obviously a hookup arrangement disguised as a relationship. Feel better? Jake asked, as we watched her practically run after him. Actually, yeah, I said. I do, because I realized something watching them together. She didn't leave me for someone better. She left me for someone richer, someone who makes her feel important in public but treats her like she is disposable in private. The woman I fell in love with would have been disgusted by that kind of relationship, but that woman apparently doesn't exist anymore. This morning, I got a text from her. I know you saw me last night. Can we talk? I haven't responded. What is there to say? She made her choice. She chose status over love, wealth over loyalty, appearance over substance, and now she gets to live with that choice. I am not angry anymore. I am grateful. Because she showed me exactly who she really is before I married her. Update 26 weeks since my proposal rejection, and the update you have all been waiting for is here. Spoiler alert, Mrs. Chen was absolutely right about everything. Quick recap. My ex Melissa dumped me saying she deserved better after I helped her transform her confidence and appearance over 3 years. Turned out she had been cheating with a married finance executive named Tyler for 2 months before our breakup. Well, Tyler apparently got everything he wanted from Melissa and has moved on to fresher conquests. I found out because she has been blowing up my phone for the past week. Started with casual texts like, "Hope you are doing well," and escalated to full desperation mode pretty quickly. The messages paint a picture of someone whose fairy tale turned into a nightmare, escalating from casual contact to outright desperation over the course of 6 weeks. It started innocuously enough with her reaching out like nothing had happened. "Hey, I know things ended badly, but I hope we can be friends someday." When that didn't get a response, she shifted tactics the following week to something more personal. "I miss talking to you. You always gave such good advice." By the 3rd week, the pretense was starting to crack as she became more direct about wanting to reconnect. "I think I made a mistake. Can we grab coffee to talk?" Still, there was an attempt to frame it casually, as if we were just going to hash out some minor misunderstanding over lattes. The 4th week brought the first real admission that her upgrade wasn't working out. Tyler and I aren't working out. I keep thinking about what we had. This was when I knew her perfect new life was falling apart, though she was still trying to maintain some dignity. As we moved into the 5th week, desperation fully set in with complete self-flagellation. I was an idiot. I threw away the best thing in my life for someone who doesn't even care about me. The woman who had been so confident about deserving better was now admitting she had made a catastrophic mistake. Finally, by the 6th week, any pretense of pride was gone entirely. "Please, just call me back. I know I don't deserve it, but I am falling apart." The progression from casual friendship overtures to complete emotional breakdown was both predictable and heartbreaking to witness. I didn't respond to any of them, which apparently drove her to show up at my office yesterday. My assistant buzzed me around 2 p.m. "Ethan, there is a woman here who says she needs to speak with you urgently. She is very upset." I knew it was Melissa before I even asked. "Tell her I am in meetings all day." I tried that. She says she will wait. She sat in our lobby for 4 hours. 4 hours. My coworkers started asking questions. My boss looked concerned, and I felt like I was being held hostage in my own workplace. Finally, Around 6 p.m. when most people had left, I agreed to talk to her. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed her to stop disrupting my professional life. She looked terrible. Not physically. She is still conventionally attractive, but emotionally devastated. The confidence and glow she had had 6 weeks ago were completely gone. She looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. "Thank you for seeing me," she said, already crying. "I know I have no right to be here. You are right, you don't." "What do you want, Melissa?" "I want to apologize. And I want to ask if there is any chance. If we could try again." I stared at her. "Are you serious?" "I made the biggest mistake of my life. Tyler was everything I thought I wanted, but he wasn't. He wasn't you." "What happened?" She broke down completely. Through the tears, I got the full story. Tyler had never intended their relationship to be anything serious. He was married with kids and made it clear from the start that she was just a distraction. He would take her to expensive places, buy her nice things, but only when it was convenient for him. She was never allowed to meet his friends or business associates, never invited to any events that mattered to him. He would disappear for days without explanation, then text her at midnight for hookups. "I thought I was dating a successful man," she sobbed, "but I was just a mistress. A secret he kept hidden away. And now he is done with you. He found someone younger. Some 23-year-old model who doesn't ask questions or expect commitment. Told me last week that our arrangement had run its course. The casual cruelty of it was stunning, even for someone like Tyler. "I am sorry that happened to you," I said, and I meant it. "But I don't understand why you are here, because I realized that what we had was real. You loved me for who I was, not what I looked like or what status I could give you. You supported my dreams, celebrated my successes, made me feel valued as a person, and you threw that away for someone who treated you like an accessory. I know, I was an idiot. I got caught up in the attention and the excitement, and I forgot what actually mattered." She grabbed my hands. "Ethan, please. I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I love you. I've always loved you. I just got lost for a while." I gently removed her hands from mine. "Melissa, do you remember what you said to me when I proposed? I was confused and scared, and do you remember?" She nodded miserably. "I said I deserved someone better than you. And do you still believe that?" "No, God, no. You are the best man I have ever known. See, that is the problem. I don't think you have actually changed. I think you have just run out of options." Her face crumpled. "That is not true. If Tyler called you right now and said he'd leave his wife for you, would you still be here begging for my forgiveness?" The pause before she answered told me everything I needed to know. I don't know, maybe. But that is not going to happen. Exactly. You are not here because you love me, Melissa. You are here because your upgrade fell through and you need a backup plan. That is not fair. You know what is not fair? Helping someone become their best self, only to have them decide you are not good enough for that version of themselves. Spending 3 years building a life together only to be discarded the moment someone shinier comes along. I stood up. I loved you when you were insecure and struggling. I loved you when you were confident and thriving. But I cannot love someone who only values people based on what they can provide. I have learned my lesson. I know better now. Have you? Or are you just desperate because your first choice didn't work out? She had no answer for that. I hope you figure out what you actually want from life, I told her. But it is not going to be with me. So that is it. 3 years means nothing to you. 3 years meant everything to me. That is why what you did was so devastating. But you cannot unbreak someone's heart by showing up after yours gets broken too. She begged for another 20 minutes, making promises about how she had changed and learned and grown. But all I could think about was her saying I wasn't good enough for the person I had helped her become. Some things cannot be taken back. Some betrayals cannot be forgiven. Some relationships cannot be repaired. I walked her to her car and wished her well. And I meant it. I hope she finds happiness. But it will not be with me. As I watched her drive away, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Peace. Because I realized that the woman I fell in love with 3 years ago wouldn't have cheated on someone who loved her. She wouldn't have abandoned loyalty for status. she wouldn't have come crawling back only after her upgrade fell through. Either that person never really existed, or she died somewhere along the way to becoming who Melissa is now. Either way, she is not coming back. Final update: it has been exactly 1 year since Melissa told me I was not good enough for the person I had helped her become, and I figured you guys deserved to know how this story truly ended. The short version: I am happier than I have been in years, and Melissa is still chasing the same shallow dreams that destroyed our relationship. Let me start with the good news. I am in love again. Her name is Sarah, and she is everything I did not know I was looking for. She is a pediatric nurse who volunteers at the same homeless shelter where I first met Melissa. But unlike Melissa, Sarah's kindness comes from genuine empathy, not social media opportunities. We met 6 months ago when I started volunteering there again. I had stopped after Melissa lost interest, but returning felt like coming home to who I really am. Sarah was training new volunteers, and I was struck by how naturally she connected with everyone. The homeless guests, the other volunteers, even the difficult coordinator who makes everyone nervous. "You are new," she said during the lunch break. "Well, new again. I remember you from a few years ago." "Good memory," I said, surprised she had noticed me. Hard to forget someone who actually listens when the guests tell their stories. Most volunteers are just here for their conscience. That is when I knew she was special. We have been together for 4 months now, and the difference between this relationship and my last one is striking. Sarah likes me exactly as I am. She does not need me to fund a lifestyle or provide social status. She does not want to change me or upgrade from me. When I told her about Melissa and what happened, her response was perfect. Anyone who would throw away 3 years with someone who loved them for a married guy with a BMW was not ready for real love anyway. Sarah and I cook dinner together, volunteer together, have long conversations about books and dreams and stupid movies. It is simple and real and everything I thought I had with Melissa before she decided she deserved better. Last week, I told Sarah I love her. Her response: "I love you too. Thank you for being exactly who you are." No one has ever thanked me for being myself before. As for Melissa, well, some people never learn. I found out through mutual friends that her pattern has continued exactly as you would expect. After Tyler dumped her, she spent several months trying to find another upgrade. A series of dating app disasters with men who were wealthy but treated her poorly. Apparently, she has developed a type: successful, unavailable men who see her as temporary entertainment rather than relationship material. She keeps choosing guys who are emotionally distant, financially manipulative, or already in relationships. Our mutual friend Lisa told me Melissa constantly complains that all the good men are taken and that guys with money just want to play games. She is apparently convinced that her problem is bad luck, not bad choices. She keeps asking why she cannot find someone who treats her the way you did but also has money, Lisa said. I told her maybe because those two things are not actually related, but she does not want to hear it. 3 months ago, Melissa tried to contact me again, not directly. I have her blocked everywhere, but through Lisa. The message was predictable. She was sorry. She had learned her lesson. She had realized I was the one that got away. And she wondered if enough time had passed for us to reconnect as friends. I told Lisa to tell her that I wished her well but had moved on completely. Lisa came back with Melissa's response. Does he know I have changed? That I am not the same person who hurt him? But that is exactly the problem. She is the same person. She is still looking for someone to provide the lifestyle she wants. Rather than building a life with someone she loves, she is still measuring relationships by external markers rather than emotional connection. The woman who told me I was not good enough for her has spent a year discovering that the men she thinks are good enough for her do not think she is good enough for them. Meanwhile, I have learned what it is like to be with someone who values loyalty over luxury, character over cash, substance over status. Sarah does not care that I drive a Honda instead of a BMW. She does not need expensive restaurants to feel appreciated. She has never looked at other couples and wondered if she could do better. When we talk about the future, it is about the life we want to build together, not the lifestyle she wants me to provide. That is the difference between loving someone and using someone. I used to think Melissa's transformation was something we accomplished together. Now I realize that what I helped her change was just her appearance and confidence. Her character, the part that actually matters in a relationship, never really changed at all. Or maybe it did change, but not for the better. Either way, the woman I fell in love with 3 years ago would not have thrown away a loyal partner for social status. Whether that woman ever really existed or just died along the way does not matter anymore. What matters is that I found someone who values the same things I do. Someone who chooses me not because I am the best she can get, but because she genuinely loves who I am.